So this week's episode of The Flash didn't feature Devoe, but it did raise some interesting questions and it had some great moments. Firstly, Harry Wells from Earth 2 was kicked out of the Council of Wells and joined the softer, gentler Council of Harrisons, which allowed him to put himself in Devoe's shoes and explain why the Thinker had not yet launched the 5 satellites which will send pulses of dark matter and make everybody stupid. Harry was able to surmise that the reason Devoe hadn't launched was because he didn't have the thing that mattered to him most. His wife. Devoe's wife, of course, left him in last week's episode because her love had strayed from the path and was now more concerned with ruling the world than saving it. We also got no further indication of where Marlize currently is. This is probably going to be a big part of next week's episode. However, the trailer for next week's episode shows us that Devoe needs one last thing to complete his enlightenment device before the launch, and that is to take the last surviving metahuman Fallout, aka Neil Borman, from the Argus facility where we last saw him. Next week's episode is entitled Think Fast, and we'll also see Team Flash ask John Diggle from Arrow for help. Remember, John Diggle is currently working for Argus on Arrow and his wife Lila is the director of Argus. So it appears that Team Flash will figure out exactly why Devoe wants Fallout and how it will complete his enlightenment device. Remember, Fallout is essentially a nuclear bomb, and I think it's possible that there is a lot more to this enlightenment device than just making everybody stupid, and more on that a little bit later. Team Flash are seen here in the promotional photos working with Argus, and interestingly, Caitlin is seen with a new glove, and I think it's possible that Caitlin figures out a way to use Killer Frost's powers. Somehow this glove will come into play, and I think that she's going to be able to use Killer Frost's powers without actually going full Killer Frost, frosting out as it were, with the white hair and all of that. The fact that Barry is bringing Caitlin on the mission to stop Devoe probably is further evidence that Caitlin will have figured out how to unlock her Killer Frost powers. Otherwise, why would he take her on the mission, and not even with a cold gun? So I think we can be pretty certain that she will get her powers back. After all, this episode also explained that the gene splicer that Amunet used on Caitlin didn't actually work. It only provided a placebo effect. The placebo effect is defined as a beneficial effect produced by a placebo drug or treatment, which cannot be attributed to the properties of the placebo itself, and therefore must be due to the patient's belief in that treatment. I got that straight from Google! In other words, Caitlin has it inside of herself to fix herself and get Killer Frost back. Now we're also going to see the return of Barry using Flashtime and training Cisco and Caitlin in Flashtime for some reason. This is obviously part of the plan to stop Devoe from getting Fallout. And what does Devoe need Fallout for? Does he just want to take his nuclear powers? I mean, he doesn't need his powers to get the Enlightenment satellites in orbit, as he already has Null's gravity powers, so he could just float them up into space. So they aren't showing Marlize in the trailer or any of the promotional photos of next week's episode, but I think that there's a good chance that she shows up and helps Team Flash in some way. Back to some of the big moments of this week's episode. I actually quite enjoyed Amunet Black, whose real name is revealed to be former flight attendant Leslie Jacoy. In the comics, Amunet Black is now known as the Blacksmith, however her real name is never revealed. She ran a criminal organization known as the Network, and employed only the most powerful members of the Rogues, which included Weather Wizard, Mirror Master, Magenta, Murmur, Gerda, Plunder, and the Trickster. She got her powers from stealing a special elixir from her ex-husband Goldface, and was given the power to perfectly fuse metal and organic material, including fusing metal with her own body. In the show, she's found running an illegal gambling operation after going into hiding following Devoe's murder of Warden Wolf at Iron Heights. On the show, she definitely works more as an anti-hero than a straight-out villain, and some of her interaction with Team Flash was hilarious.
So you decided to lie to me rather than tell me that?
Especially this moment when she tells Barry he's a regular David Caruso, of course referencing the lead CSI in CSI Miami. But the funniest part of this interaction is Barry's reaction. At the end of all of this, Amunet Black gives Caitlin some of the shards, which she makes into a concussive grenade by bonding some of her dark matter energy to it. And I must be honest, I was really glad when she cut off the snake eye from Norvok. Iris also writes an article detailing Devoe and his plan. The city believes it, and now Devoe has nowhere to hide. So why does Devoe need Fallout for his plan? Does he perhaps just want to have his powers and use them as a nuclear deterrent for anyone who tries to stop him? Or is there more to the Enlightenment plan than just making everybody stupid? I personally think there is a darker side to the plan of enlightenment that he perhaps hasn't even told his wife, and I think he may have actually predicted that his wife would leave him, and it fits into his plan that she left him. After all, he could have just continued to control her with the Weeper's tears if he wanted to. And for me, the big mystery left in this season is not who the mystery girl is. For sure, she is definitely a speedster from the future related to Barry and Iris, and this language is the language of intellect. But the big mystery is, how does Devoe and Marlize know this language? Barry was writing it when he was trapped in time, but how does Devoe know it? What is his connection to the future? We also know that Devoe said he still needs the Flash, as he's still part of the plan. Could it be that Devoe needs Barry to do some time travel to complete his plan? I really want to know from as many of you as possible what you think, so please leave a comment below. I really enjoy reading the comments and I reply as much as I can. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and then share it with other Flash fans. Please also subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so that you can keep up to date with all the Crafty Media content. I've got a bunch of Infinity War videos that you can check out here. Also, I'm thinking of doing a Q&A video and possibly even live streams. Please let me know if you think that that's something you'd be interested in and leave a comment below. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Cheers for now.